So you're all on for your big move to New Zealand. You've got your paperwork sorted, you've got your visas, your job offer, you've even got a nice little property lined up that you're going to rent. And then one night, when you're tucking your kids into bed, they turn round and say the dreaded words. I don't want to move to New Zealand. I don't want to leave my friends. Oh, what can you say?
Because the thought of having a swimming pool in your school.
There might be a bit chilly.
I was going to say, don't tell them that it's ice cold.
No.
In this week's episode, we're going to share with you some fabulous tips on how to get your kids excited about moving to New Zealand.
Got it.
Welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. Everything you need to know about moving to and living in New Zealand.
There's a whole world here.
So nice to be with you again.
We call it Aotearoa around here, bro.
You'll be right.
We are your hosts, Liz and Brian.
Amazing New Zealand in the southern seas.
See, that's where I belong. That's home.
Hello and welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And today we're going to be talking to you about how you can help your children get excited about moving to New Zealand. The voice you're about to hear in just a moment is from one of our community members in our NZ Ahead membership group. Her name is Ginger, and she very kindly recorded this question for me so I could include it in the podcast. So here is the question that Ginger put to the rest of the community members about her children coming to New Zealand.
Hi, this is Ginger from Denver, Colorado. I was wondering if anyone had any advice about breaking the news to your children about moving to New Zealand.
So once again today, I am thankful that we've got the private NZ Ahead community slackers who have given me all the information I need for this show.
Yep.
Because what happened was Ginger put she put a message out saying, well, you know, you've heard the message, but everyone else dived in and said, oh, this is what you can tell your kids to get them excited. Yeah. I remember when we were coming over here and my big thing that I used was, oh, the swimming pools are amazing.
Yeah, the slides everywhere and that's all that sort of stuff.
When you're a big boy and girl, you'll be able to go bungee jumping.
Yeah, parachuting.
Yeah.
Like paragliding.
But actually, our lovely community members they've gone one step further. So the people that have answered are people that are living in New Zealand already. We've got answers from Victoria, who you've probably heard from before, Katie B, who you've definitely heard from before, and Ryan. Then I'm going to just add my little bit at the end, what I think would be exciting for kids.
Yep.
So if you're moving to New Zealand and you've got kids, particularly smaller kids, I have a real problem with the word particularly. Smaller kids that need that, oh, but mummy, you know, what is there for me to do in New Zealand? Then you're going to love this show. And you know what? I just wanted to share with you as well. Ginger said that, I don't know if it was her son or daughter said, do I have to speak with a New Zealand accent when I go to New Zealand?
Oh, yes.
Yes. Do I have to speak New Zealand? Which I thought was just lovely.
Yeah. I'm going to just say, Ginger, what a great name.
I know.
Isn't it just like,
I know.
It's brilliant, isn't it? It's like one of those, you always remember of, you know, Fred Astaire, Ginger Rogers, don't you? And then you just never heard the name, and then you hear it again. It's like, oh,
it's
that's
a beautiful
great name,
isn't it?
Yeah, it really is.
It really is lovely.
And we've got Priscilla, and we've got some great names in that group, haven't we? Like
Brian.
Obviously, there's a Brian, the US version.
Yes, Brian.
Yeah, I'm Brian.
At the end of the show, I'm going to tell you, give you some more details. If you want to be part of a community like this, if you're moving to New Zealand and you want to surround yourself with a family, that's what I'm going to call it. Honestly, a whānau from now on it really is. It feels like this wonderful family that we've created. Then I'm going to give you details. Shall I just say it now? And then
say it now.
Yeah.
And you can listen at the end as well if you really want.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to be part of this community, then you would become a member of the NZ Ahead membership. So that membership includes endless hours of videos about moving to New Zealand, all unreleased, all unpublished. There's podcasts in there. There's monthly interviews with community members who are either just about to move to New Zealand or they've recently moved to New Zealand, and they share behind the scenes of what it was like. There's so much good stuff within that membership. If you are moving to New Zealand, then you seriously you're missing out if you're not in it. But anyway, to get into that membership, we would like you to take the free 5-day video guide by going to www.nzahead.com, had a mind block then, /free, FREE. So www.nzahead.com/free. Take the free 5-day guide, and on the 5th day, you get directions of how you can choose whether or not you want to become a member of this community. So that is that. But the biggest thing when you're moving to New Zealand as a family, I'm telling you now, and you will know this already, is you worry endlessly about how your kids are going to settle into New Zealand. And that's why you're going to love this show. So in answer to Ginger's question, how can I help my kids look forward more, get more excited about moving to New Zealand? Here's what our lovely members said. Victoria said, do not forget that schools in New Zealand start at 9 a.m. So that means you get extra time in the playground. Because I think in England it started at, pretty sure it started at 8:40.
Or was it 8:30?
Was it 8:35? It was early, wasn't it? It wasn't 9 o'clock.
Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah,
and apparently in America they start earlier than that.
I think it's like you say, it's 8:30, 8:40. So they're all in. What do they call it? Assembly for 9 o'clock.
Yeah. Or
wherever it is, or first lesson starts at 9. But
in New Zealand, they start at 9. Yeah.
But the great thing in New Zealand with that is, like, when we came over here, the kids, it's an adventure in the morning, isn't it?
Yeah, we were saying that the other day, weren't we?
Yeah, it's not just like you
scooter into school.
You scooter in school, you're scootering around. There's basketball courts in the playgrounds. There's climbing frames to die for when you're that age.
Hey, don't say, because that's one of the things.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
Right.
But I know what you mean.
But it's just, the excitement of the kids when they first started going to school was amazing, because it's just like, in England, it was like, go through the padlocked gate, get into the, playground, and then take your kid in, hang the bag up and walk out.
Yeah.
And there was a few kids playing who were earlier, who mums obviously dropped them off earlier, but we were always
late,
within 10 minutes or 5 minutes late. Half the time. But anyway,
you say, they get to the school and they don't start till 9, so they've got all that time in the morning, and a little less stressful as well for the parents, isn't it? They have far less homework in New Zealand. Victoria's telling us all this. She's got 3 kids. They're all at school in New Zealand. So they have far less homework. And Victoria made a really good point as well, that their ethos in the schools in New Zealand tend to be more Montessori sort of based. They're more into the well-being of the child.
Of course they are. Yeah.
They're very into the play,
It's bringing that inner child out of them, not inner child, but inner identity, bringing it to the front and making them talk in front of people.
What
and
children
all those things, instead of just sitting there, oh no, he can't do that because of this. It's just like, no, everyone does it. It's mates. It's just like, let's get into it. And it's just, tell us what you've been doing. And standing up in front of people and talking. And so many people can't do that.
Yeah. We better not say that, though, because if you had an introverted child,
I'm not saying, I'm just saying that's the mainly, but then hopefully that might just bring him out.
True.
It's just, I don't know.
No, you're right. It's very much hands-on. It's very much, we've talked about this endlessly, about the time that Sonny said to me, Mummy, you're allowed to talk. And that's what he said to me,
You're not talked out by the teacher.
Years ago.
It's like you can interact with
We're
them.
allowed to talk. If you haven't listened to Joe's podcast about being a teacher in New Zealand, you've got to go and listen to that, because that woman is wonderful. And she tells all about what it's like to be in a primary school in New Zealand. Anyway, so that's that. So, So what about the cool nature and the birds that you're going to see when you come to New Zealand?
Exactly.
They are fabulous. If you've got children who are into nature and...
If they love birds, there's the tui bird. It's just got the most amazing... It's just... I've never heard a bird have such an array of different sounds. From a squeak to a... type thing, and it's just to a whistle that sounds like a man whistling, and it's just like, it's unbelievable, isn't it? Like, and just the chatter in the morning when you go out, you're like, oh, that's so.
And here's a really good one to say, because I just thought about this then. So the tui bird is abundant in New Zealand. It makes a farting sound.
Yeah, it does.
It sounds like it's trumping, doesn't it? It goes like this, and you're like, oh my, what's that? And then, so of course kids love things like that, don't they? So you could say that, you could say like, there's a bird and it sounds like it's making a trump.
You could just be walking along and the fantails are flying around you. It's like something out of Snow White, isn't it sometimes? There's little blue birds that will fly around to helping to make a dress or whatever it was. I don't know, Snow White or...
Yeah, that's right,
Sleeping Beauty or whatever it was.
That's a really good point.
That's what it's like, isn't it? Like,
The fantails, when you go for a walk in New Zealand and go along the path, like Brian said, they flutter in front of you. It's something to do with you're kicking up the
dirt and the bugs
insects,
or whatever it is. Yeah.
But they come close enough to you that you can almost touch them. That's no exaggeration.
They're friendly, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
They'll come up, jump on a tree or a bush next to you and then wait for you to go by and then jump back down. Because there was no predators here. So, they're obviously aware of you, but it's not, you can't pick them up or anything.
No.
And
they fan their tails, and that's why they're called fantails. So, okay. So, and Victoria also said, we told our kids that we could visit the Pix peanut butter factory.
Yeah, brilliant.
So, if you've got kids that love peanut butter, then go and visit that factory. Right, Katie B, this was her contribution. She said, kids in New Zealand have got tons more freedom. She's American, so she's comparing it to the US.
Yep. She
said they've got tons more freedom, which I agree. The adults tend to treat the kids like little adults. This was her words, like tiny adults.
Right.
And that's true.
Yeah.
They do. We've said this before, haven't we?
I'd say you have a beer with them and everything, can't you?
Right, but they've got this... They've got this thing with the kids. It's complete. Well, it must be the same in the US. When we came from England, it was like, why are you talking to the children like they have got an opinion? And they talk to them like, she's exactly right, Katie.
Yeah, she is.
They talk to them like tiny adults.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Don't they? They don't go, okay, Johnny,
Poppet.
all right, are you ready? Yeah. It's just like they talk to them like tiny adults. So
come on, off we go. Yeah, we're doing this now. Come on.
And not even just in a strict way, in a respectful.
Yeah, but that is though, isn't it? It's just,
we respect what you think way.
Not like am I damaging you in any way by telling you need to do this right now?
Yeah. Just yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And I like that.
Yeah,
because I know my kids suddenly felt very independent because they were talked to.
Yeah, not in a horrible way, like you say. It's not horrible at all. It's just
it's a positive way.
As you're going to be talked to the rest of your life, like
Yeah, but I hope you're not thinking that it's in a mean way, are you? Because it's not like that.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's just like as you would talk to a normal
tiny
person.
adult, like very respectful.
Yeah.
And Katie said at school, which is great to hear this because like I said, our kids they only went to school for a couple of years and then they were homeschooled. But Katie has got two young children, Everett and Margaret. And she said they get to use tools at school and not just play tools, real legit tools.
Yeah,
how cool is that?
Yeah. What rip saws and...
I don't know. That's what she said. I should ask her, shouldn't I?
I'd imagine it's like proper hammers.
New Zealand it would be.
Yeah, that's it. Well, that's it. You need the tradies. It's a country that's getting bigger and bigger. Buildings popping up all over the place.
So if you've got kids that love being outside and knocking nails into things, then there's one thing to tell them. Like they can do that at school. So that's great.
Yeah, you actually build the school.
Yeah. So Ryan, our lovely, lovely Ryan, he said, which I thought this is really, I've never thought about this. He said, as an American, when he came over with his kids, all the other kids would just bombard them with questions about America.
Yeah.
And it meant that his kids were like very popular for quite a while, so you could always say that. You could say, wow, you're going to go over and all these kids are going to want to know about the country that you've come from,
Exactly. Yeah. Especially like you say, the Americans, it's that, they see so many, Disney programs and stuff like that, don't they? Like, that.
And who wouldn't want to know about England and Scotland and Ireland and Germany and France and Belgium and all these countries that these people, South Africa, all these countries that people are coming from. New Zealand kids are going to be fascinated by that.
Yeah, and they want to know as well.
Yeah.
Because, they turn around and go, oh, well, my dad was from there, or my granddad was from there. And because it is the land of the majority of people that have come here are all immigrants, like,
Do you know what I thought you were going to say then?
What?
It is the land of milk and honey.
No, I was told it wasn't.
Well, no, it isn't, is it? I mean,
it's just like anywhere, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's what you make it.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I thought you were going to say. I thought he isn't going to say that, is he? No, you didn't. No. So that's what Ryan said, and just again, Ryan also said about the nature, which we've just touched on. There's the things like I'm going to just give my 2 penneth worth now. There's the things like we said about the swimming pool. Oh, and the playgrounds. That's what Katie said as well.
Playgrounds are amazing, aren't
she
they?
said,
the kids.
Yeah.
It's just, and they're all free.
Yeah.
Which
and
they should be because they're playgrounds.
Flying foxes.
Yeah, but the thing is you can go to the school in the evening because it's a community school and go and play on the tennis courts, or you can go and play on the basketball hoops, and no one will say, "Oh, get off there."
No,
because as long as they're respectful to it and not, spray painting it or smashing windows, it's all open. It's completely open, isn't it? Maybe it's different in some of the bigger cities. I really don't know. I've not been to them, but all the places around where we are, they're all open. Though even in New Plymouth, it's a city. We went there on the weekend when we were doing the guide for the videos for the guide. Yeah. And they're all playing basketball. I know in England it was all like locked up. You can't use any of this.
Almost every, and I'm going to say every, but I don't know if this is the case. But almost every primary school has got its own swimming pool. Yep. Especially every primary school that I've been to, when we went with our touring theatre company, every primary school that we went to had a swimming pool. So if your kids are into swimming, I mean, if someone had told me that when I was a kid, I would have just been over there like a flipping shot. Because the thought of having a swimming pool in your school.
They might be a bit chilly.
I was going to say, don't tell them that it's ice cold.
No, because it probably will be. They do have some of them have little solar hot water pipes stuck on roofs and things to heat it up the Kiwi way.
Just don't mention that bit.
But it's refreshing in the summer.
And also going with the water thing, swimming is huge in New Zealand. There's life saving, surf life saving. There's lots of water sports going on. So if your kid loves water sports and being in the water, then
because the majority of cities are coastal cities, which they are, aren't they? I know you've got Hamilton, which isn't, and you've got Palmerston North, but the rest of the major big cities
are near the sea.
Are all near the sea.
Yeah.
Like Wellington is a port town. Auckland is a port town. Christchurch is next to the coast, and Dunedin, Port Town. It's just they're all by the water, aren't they?
So here's some of my points that I just jotted down, and I thought, right, okay, if you've got kids and, you're wanting to make them feel excited, I was going to say bribe then, make them feel excited about moving to New Zealand. What about this then? If your birthday is in June, July, August, you're going to have
a winter birthday.
It's the other way around. Sorry.
Yeah,
I got
that's
that wrong.
it. Yeah.
I got that wrong. So if your birthday is in December, January, February, usually like I am, my birthday is in February.
Yeah.
And ever since coming to New Zealand, I've had the most gorgeous summer, always eating outside, always an outside fire. Always down on the beach. It's just your birthday is going to be in the summer.
Exactly. I spent the first 46 years of having my birthday in the summer, and for the last 13 years, it's been
in the winter. Because you're July.
Yeah.
Okay, what about this? They can have Christmas at the beach.
I know.
They can see Father Christmas, Santa Claus in shorts and flip-flops, jandals.
Yep.
And they're going to spend it at the beach. And not only that, this is probably the best thing ever, is when you have Christmas and you get toys at Christmas, and then you only get a couple of days to play with them normally, don't you?
It's about 10 days, maybe max afterwards.
I don't
you're
think
back
it's
at
that,
school,
is
isn't
it?
it? Well, you've got 5-6 days, and then you're always back at school.
2nd of Jan?
It's 4th or 5th of Jan or something like that, isn't it?
I don't know, Brian. I think they're back on the 2nd.
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Anyway, you don't get long, but in New Zealand,
you
get your toys at Christmas, and then after Christmas Day, that is it. You've got 6 whole weeks to play with those toys.
You've got to the end of January to play. So 5 or 6 weeks, isn't it? Yeah.
How lovely is that?
That's just brilliant. And it's just all in one, because most people, it's like you have Christmas and then you'll go on holiday and take your toys with you, or whatever it is that you're going to be doing, and you're going to be on the beach, or you're going to be doing this. And
the other things I can think of as well, is camping is huge in New Zealand.
It's huge.
And guess what? You can go camping with other people's families. Other people's families will say, do you want to bring a friend? And you can go camping, with them, spend a couple of weeks on a campsite.
The thing is like in these campsites, they've got 9 times out of 10, they'll have a big trampoline that you can play in.
Oh, yeah, the big bouncy
cushions.
cushions.
The big bouncy cushions. Or your next door neighbour, or your next door neighbour, or your mate will have a trampoline.
Yes.
And you just
can bounce
play
on
for
it.
hours on trampolines.
Yeah.
Or in the summer, you know, a lot of them, they'll buy a pool that you can, an inflatable pool, or you know, one of these pools that that you just put up for the summer.
Yep.
You know, and
Yeah.
it's yeah.
Sleepovers are huge in New Zealand. So, you know, my kids have said to me many times, like when we were in England, if you wanted to have a sleepover, you had to book it 2 weeks in advance. It's like, oh, can we have a sleepover next Friday? In New Zealand, it's very much, do you want a sleepover tonight?
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, okay. And that took some getting used to, but
Even
kids
on a
are
school
very
night
much into
sometimes.
it.
Yeah.
And very much into playing after school.
Yeah.
Like Victoria said, because there's not so much homework, so you're going to have more time. So all these things, as well as massive ice creams.
The
Cheap.
best.
Yes, the best ice creams in the world.
Grass-fed dairy, which is very good for you, you know.
Brilliant fish and chips. So really great fish and chips. So there's another one. So yeah, if I was a child and my mum and dad said to me, we're moving to New Zealand, I would be ecstatic.
And if you're going out with mum and dad on a Saturday morning, most places that you'll go in the car park, there'll be a sausage sizzle. Sausage sizzle.
And they do offer vegetarian ones as well. If you're vegetarian, they've got vegetarian sausages. So yeah, I can't think of anything. If I was a kid, I can't think of anything that wouldn't be more exciting than having an adventure to New Zealand.
When you go into a supermarket with mum and dad as well, there's free bread rolls or there's free fruit and things like that in some of the supermarkets. Yeah. So it's great. Yeah. It's just like, so you walk around and just eat free things.
Yeah. So there you go. Thank you so much to Ginger for asking that question within the community. I love questions like this. When I see it, I'm like, oh, yes. And thank you to everyone who contributed to saying, tell your child this, tell them this. Yep. And I hope that this episode has made you excited about going back to your kids and saying, hey, how do you feel about moving down under?
Yeah. And if all those things don't work that we've just talked about, just turn around and say, well, you're coming anyway. Okay.
You haven't got any choice.
You can stay here by yourself if you want.
Okay.
We're getting on a plane.
So remember that if you haven't become part of our community and you're seriously thinking about moving to New Zealand at some time in the future and you want to be surrounded by gorgeous people who support you, who are on the ground in New Zealand, then sign up for our free 5-day video guide, www.nzahead.com/free. Take the guide, get to the 5th day, and then think about becoming our newest member.
Yeah. Just think, every day you can take your swimming costume or togs, they call it here. Yeah, swimming shorts, whatever it is you're swimming to school.
Yes, I know.
Every day in the summer.
All right. Okay, so go and get those children excited, and we will speak to you next week. Okay, bye.
Okay, kia kaha, stay strong. Kia u, stay true. Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. We have loved having you here with us.
If you love this week's show, please share this with your friends. Send it to anybody you know that wants to think about moving to New Zealand, and get on over here yourself.
Tell them how brilliant it is as well. And also, if you haven't signed up for our free 5-day video guide showing you what life is really like in New Zealand, then go over to the website and sign up. You are missing out. This is brilliant. Go over to www.nzahead.com/free and we will send you 5 days worth of videos about what life is like in New Zealand. You are going to love it. So one more time, that website that you need to sign up for the free 5-day guide is www.nzahead.com/free. So we're going to see you next week. Until then, have a great week and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye again. Bye.
Bye.